Thank you, everybody that's watching and listening right now. We'll get to Jon's amazing performance in about 20 minutes. And if you have a question for Jon, I'm going to chat with him a little bit. Put it in the chat function. I'll do as many listener questions at the end as I can possibly get to. So again, just type those into the chat function. I will try to get to those. But Jon, we really appreciate you coming down tonight and hanging out with us.
Yeah.
Are you getting used to Zoom yet, or is it still a bit weird to do these kinds of things on Zoom?
Man, I'm used to everything now, really. When it comes to drive-in concerts, virtual shows, and Zooms.
When you're on Zoom, are you, because we do a debate on the show, on my show every day, and the debate today was whether or not you enjoyed having your own video on during a Zoom. Would you rather have your video off during a Zoom or on?
On.
Why is that?
Hey, look, I took a shower, I put on a muddy vest, put my dirty hat on, make sure everybody knows it's just me over here. And I feel like, you know, it's just how it is, you know. It'd be better to not look like crap. You know,
if you have to have people see you, got to look good. And since you did look good, and you can't really.
I just want to say this: when you get ready, do you look in the mirror?
Yes. That's it. Okay, fair enough.
You not say more.
Now, did you have any Zoom wedding guests? You finally got married?
No, we didn't do that.
How many people were able to come?
We had a little over 50.
Now, was it hard taking the original guest list from where it was to kind of bam, 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 knock it down? And were there any arguments over those conversations?
It was, you know, there was a lot of arguments. I still haven't talked to one girlfriend of mine, but not like girl. When I say friend, is a girl, but it's like, you know, whatever. If you don't get it, if you don't get why, then obviously you're not my friend.
That's when it comes to weddings, you realize anybody that's going to be mad about any decision really doesn't need to be there in the first place, right?
During a pandemic, yeah, you know, it's like, come on, I can't have a 350 person wedding. But I will say small weddings are a lot more intimate and fun and very to the point, which is really, every wedding I've been to has been crazy, like huge people, like people everywhere, like throwing up, like, so mine was a little more not that. And it's like, it was actually very cool.
Nick in the chat function just asked the question I was just about to ask. What's the one memory that stands out from the entire day, from the minute you woke up to the minute you went to bed? When you look back at your wedding day, what is that one moment that'll always burn brightest?
I think like Summer walking down the aisle and how we weren't like crying. Like it was like fun and we're like, let's get this shit over with. Like, cause it's like 3 different plannings and all this stuff and uninvited people, but like we were so happy. And I feel like that was something I remember when we thought we were gonna be like, oh my God, you know, like crying and stuff, but it ended up being like, we're just so happy. So
had you seen the dress before she started walking towards you down the aisle, or was that the first time you saw it?
No, we tried to keep it traditional where we just didn't see the dress. I didn't see her the night before and like just sit down, and it was very a traditional wedding.
Did you write your own vows, or were they just the ones that were sort of given to you?
We didn't even give no damn vows. Let's go NASCAR wedding. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Yeah, let's go.
From the minute you walked down to the minute she saw you, was like what, 30 seconds? It's like, all right, you do, I do, let's go.
I think it was maybe like a 10-minute ceremony. I don't know. We use the standards.
Did I hear this right? Did you write your first dance song, or what was your first dance song?
I wrote a song, my first dance song. It's called "Look at You." I think it's really good, and we're still like in the works of making a new record, so we don't know where it's gonna fall. And when you're in a big record label, like you have a lot of people you have to talk to, you have a lot of things you have to realize, like you gotta like, oh, we can't just put this out, you know, we can't just do this. But so people will hear it one day. But yeah.
Had she heard it, your wife Summer, had she heard it before you danced to it? And what was her reaction?
I don't know. It was kind of, you know, it was just like just a lot of people watching, and I don't know. It's happy. It's a great, beautiful song. So I don't I'll remember. It's like, hey. It's different when you get married and you're an entertainer. Like, you're like, oh, I got a crowd here. Hey, how you doing? Hey, well, high five. You know, but so we just have fun, and that's the best part.
It's funny because when we do these things, they always send people like me who are going to interview a little blurb about, here's some things that you might find interesting. And what I loved was, because after you get married, everybody asks the same question. And it's, well, how does it feel now that you're married? And your response was my response about 2.5 years ago after I did it. It feels the same. It should feel the exact same, or things would be weird if it was different.
The only thing weird is wearing a ring.
Do you play with it a lot?
I don't even have mine on because I've been working outside, and like sometimes I'll have to do something where it's like I would take the ring off and I'd go back to work. So I just leave it. And I'm not like in a bar, like hanging out with a bunch of girls or anything, with like guys and out like on an acreage, you know. It's like, you know, so I just leave it in a special place so I know where it's at, because what's worse, not wearing a ring out on a ranch or losing it out on a ranch?
Losing it.
Yeah, exactly. Because that's the weirdest part. Is like, you know, when we go out, I'm like, but when we're out working, I just leave it up right on the nightstand right there.
I'll tell you. So where I'm at is Calgary. You've been to the Calgary Stampede. I know you had a little bit of fun. And there was a bar that was here for a while. It's called Cowboys. There still is a Cowboys, but back in the day, they used to have a ring bucket during Stampede at the door and self-tanner. So dudes could come in, drop their rings at the door, and a little self-tanner for their ring finger.
I probably wouldn't put my ring in that bucket.
I don't think it's a good idea. See, I heard you say ranch, and I got to know. I know you probably don't have a lot of time, but just the way you say ranch, talking about working on the ranch, are you watching Yellowstone? Have you seen it?
Yeah, we've seen all the episodes. Part of it's filmed in Canada.
You love it?
It's a little dramatic for me, but my favorite part, I think, was last season when they got.
Oh no! Don't ruin it for me.
Oh well, I'll let you one. Like, they got mad at something and they put a bull in a bar, and I thought that was, I don't know what season it was, but I was like, that's some cowboy shit right there.
So that's
here's a bull in the bar.
Because I'm sure you're watching as somebody who actually does things on a ranch, and there's, you know, things are too clean, or it's probably bugging you in the back of your mind, like that would never happen, or you'd never see this.
But you know what? We can all, you know, there's a lot of guys like, that would never happen on a real cattle ranch. Well, if it was a real cattle ranch, it'd be boring as hell. So we need drama. We need all this fancy stuff to make us be like, is this what it's like? Because it's like, what you do today? Well, I fixed some fence. I vaccinated some cows. I did this. Tore some horns off, cut some balls, put the heifer up in there. That's what I did today. And that'd be it.
You have to understand, for people who sit on their couch and don't work with their hands like me, that does sound kind of interesting, but I'm sure to you it needs a little more drama.
No. Yellowstone they're getting multiple seasons back because a reason, and it's Kevin Costner. He's been in so many great Westerns. He knows what's going on. And I love that part about like taking something. The best part about Yellowstone, this is a modern Western, and we have nothing like it. There's nothing like Yellowstone. And that's what I like about Yellowstone.
So besides watching Yellowstone, I know you've been working on cars. You got married. Have you picked up a new habit or a hobby during the pandemic, or you've been too busy actually doing ranch things?
Maybe a little more welding and anything, you know, like anything fixing. Like YouTube's great. Calling my dad's great. But a little more time to actually learn that stuff. I've kind of taken a break off music last year, but now I'm getting ready to start writing. I wrote a little bit last year, a couple great songs, but really starting to buckle in and start writing all the time. What's
the last thing you had to YouTube how to do?
Oh, it was, if a solenoid, it doesn't matter if it's solenoid on like a solenoid on a Bronco. This is another car thing. It doesn't have a positive or negative. It's just a flow of energy. So I had to just learn that. And then a bunch of stuff. But
You're
that was the next one.
You're such a hands-on man in comparison to people I'm used to. I had a friend who had to YouTube how to shave with an actual razor, not one of the machine ones.
Okay. But I get it. Look, everybody's learning all kinds of new stuff. We've got our phone. That's all we need. But no, everybody should just try something different and set the phone down or just leave it somewhere. The most amazing thing is, like, if you leave your phone for 2 hours and you go back and you see how many messages you have, or like you're just amazed, like, because you're ready. Like, you're sitting there like, but you just take a chill pill and just chill out for a little bit. It's good for the soul.
Absolutely right. You heard from some of our amazing listeners that should have seen you in Nashville on our Tennessee Takeover about how excited they were to be in Nashville, seeing you. And for a lot of them, it would have been their first time. What do you remember about your first ever trip to Nashville? Take us through that.
I was 18 and trying to get into bars, but still drunk.
Did you go with friends? Did you go by yourself? What happened?
Me and one friend, and we somehow managed to get beer. I don't know. I forget. We stayed at like the Holiday Inn. It was like some crappy hotel. And it wasn't anything as big as it is now. I mean, it was this little town. Like I said, we stayed at the Holiday Inn on Music Row. And now you can stay at any kind of 5-star to 2-star to 1-star. And Nashville is crazy. But I just remember trying to get in the bars, not getting in the bars. And then I came back a couple times when I was about 19 or 20. And I did a couple co-writes, and then I came back. Basically, I moved there. I moved when I was 22 because I was like, you know what? That's going to be easier to go into bars if I'm old enough.
So it's all about the bars. I love that.
It is. And back in the good old days, it was easier to get in there and talk to people and get up on stage and sing and like try to, do that, or get up to where you can play your new song you wrote at some writers round and stuff. So it definitely being 21 in Nashville is a big deal.
What about your first sort of Nashville moment where you felt like, oh, this is Nashville? Was it the first time you got on a stage, or maybe you saw Dierks Bentley walking across the street and he's going to Starbucks? Was there a first sort of, this is Nashville to me moment?
I used to play at Losers a lot. And I played there for about 2 years. And I just remember Jamie Johnson coming in and singing. And it was just like, man, that's awesome. And
did he do In Color?
Oh, he do. That was back when he was drinking, but he just do what he wanted. I mean, that's Jamie's career, do what he wanted. And I met Mel Tillis, and there's been a lot of nights at Losers back in the day that just people would get up and was like, man, that was fun. I can't believe we got up and sang, and it was a good time. So I will have to put Losers for that.
I love that. So I've asked a lot of questions, and the chat function keeps going boom, 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 boom. Stop talking, Greg. Let's get to some of our questions. I'll get to one from our friends at our sister station Country 104. This comes from Weaver. What's your dream collaboration? What one artist you can't wait to work with?
Oh man, it's always a tough question. There's so many great artists. I don't know. I really can't. Let's say, like, if it comes to writing a song, I'd like to write with Eric Church. I think that'd be pretty awesome. I'm trying to get. Me and Thomas got a song that started. I want to finish, and me and Luke Combs were getting some more books on, or some co-writes on the date. So I would like to write with Eric Church. So who knows, but I think he's a great writer and a cool guy.
He's got 3 albums coming out. You got to find a space on there somehow. Cassandra says, what is your favorite bourbon or your favorite beer? Pick one.
My favorite bourbon is, I think Eagle Rare is pretty hard to beat. It's not crazy expensive, and it's really good.
Trina says, my daughters want to know what your favorite song you have ever made was, whether you just wrote it or performed it.
Oh man, I really had a lot of fun writing Head Over Boots, just because it was just a great dance song. It was talked about love and dancing. It was my first number one. So
Cindy Lee says, how old were you when you started playing the guitar?
9.
Did you get the guitar for a present or was it just around the house?
I had a lot of guitars for presents before that, but when I got old enough to where I could really start like not leaving it outside, I got to start taking lessons.
I don't know who the messenger is, but it says, what's the biggest thing you had to learn from when you started at 12 until now to keep your career moving forward?
I think my instinct really pushes me in ways I don't understand. And you'll hear songwriters and artists say like it came from somewhere. You don't know where it came from, but I just think it's your musical, like what you love about music and and trusting yourself to like, I need to take a break. I need to do this. And just kind of using your instinct as a guide, but just keeping your ears open. And I think that's away from 12 to now. It still hasn't changed, because when you're always listening and just having a good time and you're singing, you're trying to write something, you're just kind of like songwriting is kind of like when you write, like anybody could do this. Anybody right now on this, there's 78 participants. Like the first thing you could do is just get a piece of paper and write whatever comes to mind. Just don't even think about it. Just write it down. Just blah, blah, blah. Write it down. And that's the closest thing I could tell you about how songwriting is.
Can I ask you, this isn't from the chat, but that just popped into my mind, you talking about that. Do you remember the title of the first song you ever wrote?
It was Deep Blue Sea, and it wasn't that good. But I was 12 years old, and I somehow had a girlfriend that left me.
And it left you in the deep blue sea.
Left me in the deep blue sea.
Chelsea says, my husband wants to know if you hunt.
Yes. I actually got a nice bull in Colorado. He scored 325, and it was a great time. I hiked my ass off. I worked really hard for that hunt, and it was a fun time. And I currently was supposed to go down to Louisiana and go hunting, but I have so much stuff to do here that I had to stay here. So yes, I love hunting, but I'm not a crazy hunter. Like, I don't kill. I'm like, Riley, I said, Riley, how many deer you gonna kill this year? Every year I see Riley, like, Riley, what? I mean, damn, you kill like 6 deer. You have to have a huge wall. I love Riley.
How good are you at buck hunter?
Good enough.
Gwen says, what year of Bronco are you wrenching on?
78.
Heidi says, what's your favorite restaurant?
Depends on what restaurant you're looking for. You look for the high, going out, get dressed up, or are you looking for some bar food? Well, I'll put it this way. I said Winners on the last chat. Winners has great food. And if you're looking for something, on the more pricier side, but really good, Jeff Ruby's. Jeff Ruby's is a fun time. Great food.
Tony and Sam want to know what your favorite song to cover is.
Oh, damn. I had to give up on covers. But as of right now, it's Nothing Compares to You off the Rancho Fiesta session. Was originally written by Prince and recorded by Sinead O'Connor, but I like the Prince version. Never really heard the Sinead O'Connor version, but I love the Prince version. So right now it's that. Jaden
says, what's a song or artist you're really into right now?
Of course, I think we're all, as country fans, we all love Morgan Wallen's new record. There's some great songs on that. I don't know about the whole 30 track. It's a little much, but like you got to spend a little more time with it. But there's some he did a great job. He wrote that album 3 years and he put his time into it, and he did a really good job. I think I'm excited for Eric's. Haley Witters is coming out with some new cool music. I got Dylan Carmichael, who just released his new single, who I helped produce on that. It's Hot Beer. So there's a bunch of new artists, and I can go on and on about some of the new stuff coming out. And I feel like these next 2 years are gonna be some strong music coming out in Nashville.
I can get to a couple more here. Karen says, how did you meet your wife?
I met Summer. Come over here. What, you trying to start a fire? Don't be trying to start a fire without me. I already see the smoke. I can smell it. Well, anyway, I met actually a blind date set up by my mom randomly.
Was this the first time mom ever did that?
Yeah, first time. She sent me a picture of Summer. I was like, damn. And I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna do this. It's kind of, she kind of looks serious. Kind of looks like, might be something gonna hold on to. And so pretty much we've been together since.
What'd you do on the first date? Just dinner?
Here she is. There's Summer.
Hi, Summer.
Hi.
Any questions
about your first date? What was your first impression of Jon?
He was hilarious. It was nice. It was a nice breath of fresh air.
And I was tall.
And he was tall. It was good.
And what did we do on that first date?
I flew to Denver with a girlfriend because he had 2 shows back to back, and otherwise his schedule was crazy. So it was the closest to California that I could get. So we watched a show. He had a radio gig at Blue Moon Brewery.
I don't know. It was Coors Light.
I don't know. And we had dinner with the band after, and then the next day was another show at the Grizzly Rose.
Honky tonk.
It was fun.
Who dropped the first "I love you"?
Jon.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That's always the guy.
All right. Well, we really appreciate you guys joining us for an awesome conversation. Thank you for answering so many questions, and we're super excited to see this performance. Can't wait to see you back up here in Canada very soon when it's all allowed again. And I have a pretty good feeling we'll be hearing Tequila Little Time a lot on the Canadian Country Radio airwaves pretty soon. Yeah. So,
heck yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Awesome, guys. Well, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I'm very sorry about the virus and everything. And I do everything I can to just try to be with the fans. And thank you for tuning in. I know we're kind of getting used to it, but I clearly like seeing everybody on there hanging, and we're going to get through it. Damn it. I'll see you sometime later this year or next year. All right.
Thanks, Jon.
Bye.